Shall I compare the tech news to a summer's day? Why would I do that? They have nothing in common. At their Unpacked event this morning, Samsung unveiled the Galaxy S24, S24 Plus, and S24 Ultra, packed with new features powered by Galaxy AI, which, as we'll see in most cases, actually means Google AI. These companies are showing so much PDA, it's making me a little uncomfortable. The S24s all support Wi-Fi 7 and are powered by the slightly tweaked Snapdragon 8 Gen 3 for Galaxy, promising 53% better ray tracing performance. And the Twitch streamer that Samsung referred to as Pokemon said she's excited about that because ray tracing is one of the main reasons she's a PC gamer, even though consoles have it too, and you're talking about gaming on a phone anyway, it doesn't matter. The S24 Ultra has a peak brightness of 2600 nits, beating the iPhone 15 Pro and Pixel 8 Pro, and making this Samsung guy say it's perfect for him since he loves gaming outdoors.
I love gaming outdoors myself.
There's just something about the squinting and the sweaty and or cold fingers that really works for me. I wanna fight a bear. As for camera upgrades, interestingly, the S23's 10x optical zoom has been cut in half. The S24 can only do 5x optical zoom and 10 times at optical quality, although it is the first Samsung phone with 5 times optical zoom on 8K video. And it can still do pretty good digital zoom up to 100 times, which Mr. Beast was very excited about. He's always excited, just loves life. Samsung built the S24 Ultra with a titanium frame because that went so well for the iPhone 15 Pro, added brand new, stronger Corning Gorilla armor, and is offering the phones in a range of gender neutral colors. Thank goodness, I do not want to seem like a pussy. Then there's the new AI features presented with the tagline, "Epic, just like that," which has to be written by AI. The S24 lineup supports real-time translation in voice calls and text messages. And in the latter, it can even translate your tone if you don't make words good. Generative Edit can replace parts of a photo and fill outside the edges using Google's Imagen 2, while Instant Slow-Mo will insert AI-generated frames to your existing video if you want to see what your skateboard trick would look like if you were dreaming or high on something. Galaxy AI features use some on-device processing powered by Google's Gemini Nano model, or extra cloud processing if you enable it using Gemini Pro, which can summarize text in Notes, voice recorder, and Samsung keyboard. But that's not all Google helped Samsung with. On January 31st, the Galaxy S24 series will be the only phones other than the Pixel 8 and 8 Pro to support Circle to Search, which lets you circle anything in any app to Google it with Google Lens. Galaxy phones starting with the S24 series will also now get 7 years of security and OS updates, just like Pixels. Plus, now that Samsung's QuickShare works with every Android phone, it's definitely the airdrop of Android now. Samsung and Google, why are you guys together all the time? And why did Samsung announce they're making a smart ring? OMG, Samsung's gonna propose? I couldn't think of a cuter tech giant couple. But that marriage may get off to a rocky start. It's otherwise been a bad week of news for Google, who are reportedly laying off hundreds of employees from their ad sales team. For at least the last few months, the company has been moving staff away from serving its largest advertising clients as it increasingly automates those services through AI-powered products like Performance Max. Essentially, Google is replacing many of its former sales force with the AI created by Google's own engineers, which has got to make the water cooler talk a little awkward. Perhaps trying to avoid further negative attention, Google also quietly updated its incognito mode disclaimer in a canary build of Chrome to inform users that the company is, in fact, collecting their information while they're in incognito mode, and they always have been, in the aftermath of a class action lawsuit. In not Google's fault, but definitely Google's problem news, a recent study by German researchers has confirmed that Google search results are indeed getting worse, as are all other search engines, because they're absolutely swamped with SEO spam. Worse, Google's attempts to address this flood of informational sewage seems to have only a minor temporary impact. But there was one bright spot in Google's week so far. Turns out that the noticeable slowdown on YouTube for ad blocker users wasn't a punishment from Google, but a bug within AdBlock and AdBlock Plus itself after their recent update. I guess we'll chalk one up for the little guy. The massive international conglomerate little guy. The Supreme Court has declined to hear either Epic or Apple's appeal in their longtime legal dispute over Apple's iOS store rules, meaning that the case is mostly over and the lower court's ruling stands. I say mostly because now Apple is seeking $73.4 million from Epic in order to cover its legal fees. And Apple needs the money, considering how it was overtaken by Microsoft as the world's most valuable company just last week, despite Apple selling the most phones out of any OEM in 2023. Basically broke. I mean, Tim Cook hasn't left his office. He's just sobbing. As a refresher, the lower court ruling wasn't totally in Apple's favor, however, and they will be forced to relax their anti-steering policies for the US App Store and allow app developers to direct users to alternative payment methods. However, according to Apple's newly revised App Store guidelines, Apple will still take a commission on those sales, 12% for members of the App Store Small Business Program and 27% for everyone else. Thus, while this doesn't eliminate App Store fees, given the sheer number of developers involved, it does make them harder for Apple to collect and enforce. It'd be like if, instead of lowering taxes, the government just banned the IRS from snooping. Snooping. Drop the G.
Now it's time for Quick Bits, brought to you by Cook Unity. If you're like me, and you're too busy cooking up these Quick Bits to enjoy a meal, a succulent Chinese meal, Cook Unity can help you put food in your belly. They partner with award-winning chefs from across the US to deliver delicious meals to your doorstep every week. They offer a wide range of meals with over 7 different dietary preference filters, including vegan, paleo, and gluten-free. The meals are delivered fully cooked. Simply heat and eat. Every week, you can select from a robust and ever-changing menu of handcrafted meals like the Shrimp and Chorizo Paella by Chef Jose Garces, a Moroccan chickpea tagine by Chef Lena El Kausi, and red wine braised short ribs with a carrot puree by Chef Marc Forjan. If you need a break from Flavortown, Cook Unity's subscription is super flexible. You can pause it, skip weeks, or cancel at any time. Try it yourself and go to cookunity.com/tech50 or click the link below and use code TECH50 to get 50% off your first order of Cook Unity meals.
Some are born quick. Some achieve quickness. Others have quick bits thrust upon them. This episode's all about the modified quotes. With the US presidential election coming this year, OpenAI has announced new rules intended to prevent its AI tools from being used to propagate political misinformation, including banning chatbots intended to impersonate government officials or political candidates. Though considering that OpenAI has also banned AI girlfriends and its own GPT store is still packed to the rafters with robo-waifus, it's not entirely clear how well enforced these new rules will be. OpenAI has likewise silently deleted language from its terms of service, banning military use of ChatGPT. So I'm personally looking forward to this November when an AI-powered Hatsune Miku gets voted into the White House in a landslide and immediately declares war on someone. It's gonna be the cutest war you've ever seen. Hatsune Miku this. Huh? Hatsune? Dell's pretty cool CAMM memory technology they announced a few years ago was adopted as a new standard by the JEDEC Solid State Technology Association last month under the name LPCAMM2, and modules were unveiled by Micron last week. The new standard allows for the benefits of faster LPDDR memory without soldering it directly to the motherboard, and it requires much less space than the existing SODIMM standard. I feel bad for SODIMM being replaced, but I kind of had it coming with a name like that. Executives of Fujitsu have finally acknowledged that the company should help compensate the victims of the British Post Office scandal, where over 900 postal service contractors were falsely charged with theft and fraud between 1999 and 2015 due to errors caused by the buggy Fujitsu accounting software. Fujitsu has also admitted that the company knew the software was defective, even as it helped the Royal Mail prosecute hundreds of innocent people, leading to imprisonment, bankruptcy, and at least 4 suicides. Postal workers traditionally hold a place of trust and respect in British society, and many children grew up watching classic stop-motion cartoon Postman Pat. Little did they know that the show would end with poor Pat doing hard time after he gets framed for high crimes and misdemeanors by a malfunctioning computer. I had never heard of this story before today, and it's wild. Nonprofit organization Fairly Trained has launched a new certification program for AI models that respect relevant copyright, similar to the Fair Trade label on coffee and other similar goods. Fairly Trained was founded by Stability AI's ex-VP for audio, Ed Newton-Rex, cool name, who reportedly left the company over concerns that they were exploiting creators. In order to acquire the Fairly Trained stamp of approval, generative AI models must have clear permission to use all of the copyrighted material they're trained on. Wow. Now, if only we had some way to tell which AI models are gluten-free, non-GMO, and organic. It's none of them. And will.i.am is launching a SiriusXM podcast and co-hosting it with an AI, because of course he is. Will.i.am is so 3008 that he has already transcended mortal concerns, like how to spell names without periods in the middle of them. Naturally, his AI co-host's name is spelled QD.PI, but pronounced Cutie Pie. Again, of course. The AI is powered by William's AI app, FYI, which stands for Focus Your Ideas. What tremendous advice from the writer of the 2005 masterpiece, My Humps. And you better write a comment promising to come back on Friday for more tech news. We won't have an AI co-host, as far as you know, but seriously, there's no AI here. There isn't.